little too negative or out there, you know.
No way. I think that what you're saying is absolutely 1000% reality.
Yeah. It's kind of like we need to reinvent whatever this is, I think, in many ways. Yes, at least we have absolutely. This, right?
Yes, exactly. We have this. So this is part 2 of the Tere Joyce interview. The internet cut us off. Weird, you know, this is the new normal. Go figure. New normal. We're all in this together and all that other happy crap. Thank you so much for putting up with the internet problem, and welcome back to the ending, to the wrap up. We left off, Tere, where I was wanting to know, are you still doing a podcast? And tell me about it. I want to know.
Yeah, I am actually. You know, I was on a couple alternative media networks called American Freedom Radio. I was on another one called Revolution Radio. I did Time for Hemp. I did all these different type of internet radio type of formats. Started doing YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel that I do videos that are different from the podcast. But I wanted to do something where I was just able to rant for 30 minutes, just, you know, let randomly talk for 30 minutes and just produce it and be done. And also I thought this idea, I bought a domain called notmyrabbithole.com, meaning that, you know, everybody's always going to, well, I'm red pilled, or this is beyond the red pill. It's because I think that saying something's going down the rabbit hole is still programming. I don't know if you're familiar with MK Ultra programming, but there's Alice in Wonderland programming down the rabbit hole. And then there's a thing called QAnon that also use those kind of manipulations. And I had gone full circle in looking at some of this stuff. And so I had this like, well, that's not my rabbit hole. And so I have a blog site, which I'm doing more writing on as well. I did a piece on Facebook. Who are the Facebook independent fact checkers? You'd be surprised. And then I started this podcast on Anchor, which is really easy to produce, and it goes on Spotify and Google Play and all the different networks. So I think I've done 12 podcasts so far. So it's fairly new. My podcast is new. And then
what's the name of your podcast?
Not My Rabbit Hole.
Okay.
By Tere, by me. I'm the host. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's satire. It's satirical. It's a satirical rant for the apocalyptic times. Is how I quote it. So
that's my favorite type of humor is satirical ranting.
Yeah, I just kind of do a stream of conscious thing. And I sort of, it's to exercise that muscle. So for a while, I was doing a show with Bill Bronner. The comedian Rick Overton brought me in with the Free Speech Show. There was Comedy Nation, and they were a bunch of us would get up and do 4 minutes on a topic and then have a round robin discussion. So that was kind of the forerunner of stretching those kind of muscles to go on to doing the other stuff.
Wow, but you've got some people behind you with Rick Overton, right? Wow.
Yeah, he was a mentor for a while.
Oh, that's for me. Great.
Yeah, okay. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from him.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Freedom of Joyce. You can also find it as Tere Joyce, Tere Joyce. It's pretty easy to find. I do have 2 channels out there. One of them has hardly any content on it. That's not the one.
Okay.
It's the one that I have like about 300 different videos on, or more. I don't know. I might have more than that now because I've been uploading content on that channel since 2014 when I was a host on Revolution Radio.
My goodness. Okay, so I've got the question of the century for you.
Okay.
Or so I think. So of all the things you've accomplished, what one thing would, if God said to you or your higher power said to you, you have to give up everything and you can only keep one thing you accomplished, what one thing would you want to hold on to?
The ability to make people laugh.
There you go. That's a good one. Yes. Boy, I wouldn't give that up for all the money in China.
Right. Yeah. I think we need it now more than ever.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. It's hard. I was listening to somebody else's podcast and they said nobody's laughing anymore. There's no comedy anymore. And, you know, that's almost like not having any hope in the world. Yes. So, you know what I mean? So I really think that comedy is healing and that it helps us to keep ourselves sane. Absolutely. If we can laugh. I'm not saying, you know, I guess you could be a crazy person laughing or whatever, but I know that when I'm in a tough situation and then I'm able to laugh at it, that's when it doesn't have any power over me anymore.
Oh, I like that. No power over me. That's the elation I feel when I turn something into a joke. It loses its power.
Right. Yeah.
I love that. So what's the craziest thing that happened in your life that you were able to turn around into comedy pretty fast, that you were proud of yourself, that, oh my God, I went through this bullshit, but out of it came this amazing bit or set?
I would say the raid. I would say that that became a comedic piece.
Got it.
Yeah. So although it took me a while to develop it, because when it first happened, I was really upset about it.
Yes.
So the first time I was talking about it, I was very, you know, but then eventually I settled into the funny part about it.
I know you're not asking me, but I'll just throw it out there. I was in the Army in the 70s, way before we had the Me Too movement or Gloria Allred on speed dial. And so I was one woman among 2,000 men on my post. And so it was continual military sexual harassment and trauma. Like, oh my gosh. But I'm proud. And then my favorite bit is taking those 3 years of military trauma and making people laugh and yet realize we're not out of the woods yet. We've gotten better in the military for women, but it isn't over with. So don't even front, you know, you're going to tighten up. I had to go through this.
Well, you're the original Private Benjamin.
Yes. I'm that old that I am. Yeah. But I love doing the military comedy, but holy Toledo, finding an audience that wants to hear it, you know, with this whole politically corrected, you know. But when I can find people that want to hear it, I can cut loose for an hour on that stuff.
Oh my God. That's great.
Yeah.
That's very unique.
Yeah.
Very unique. Yeah. It's good to find things that are perspective on things that nobody's talks about. You know, if you can get that kind of a topic or an experience, then you really hone that material, because who's going to steal that, right?
Thank you. That's the goal, you know?
Yeah.
I went to I live in a veterans apartment house in Vegas, right off the strip. And it's like for low income people, mostly who are in a program, if you know what I mean. I'm not in a program. They let me come in because I don't spend all my money at the casino, and the VA pays me money. So I have the ability to pay and the desire to pay. So they let me. So I'm among people who really, you know, are here because of a program, right? And I go to the office today and a guy has on headphones and he's going in and opening, there's a pantry and you can open the fridge and grab food from Starbucks or wherever. And he opened up the fridge and they're telling him, you can't go there now. It's not open yet. So he doesn't hear it. He has the great big Dr. Beats by Dr. Dre kind, you know, like about this big of headphones on. And so excuse me, you can't take the food. And he looks at me and I go, take the headphone. I said, you can't take the food now. And he said, what? And I said, do you have a hearing problem? Like, is it because did these cause the hearing? Now we got more problems than just the food at the wrong time. And like, when I finally get beyond, you can't take the food and you can't hear me, to like, then he tries to tell me that I can't tell him what he can do and what he can't do, and which is a man woman thing, you know, like I'm not stupid on that one. And I'm like, listen, and he goes, well, what time can you get the food? And I'm like, you know what, for you, every single day, Starbucks, I promise you, Starbucks will be here at 8 o'clock, not 8:01, 8 o'clock. And by 8:15 every day, you can count on it. What are you, nuts? What, you know, like, it happens when it happens. They deliver it when they feel like it. And you got volunteers putting it away. And when they're done, you can open the fridge. How's that? And like, I want to turn it into a bit, because like, there's so many layers of misunderstanding going on, not to mention a man doesn't want to have a woman tell him what to do.
Right. Yeah, you have to make him think that they made it up. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, oh, you thought it, not me.
Yes, there you go. That's
Right.
what I should have done.
Yeah.
There's a funny angle to it. Can I use that?
Yeah, sure.
Make him think they got to have
yeah, it's his idea. I'm not always good at doing that, but when you can, it always works.
I have to try. That's a good angle on that joke. That would be funny. Yeah. Thank you for that. So in closing, do you have any parting thoughts to people how to stay sane right now? Or, you know, how can we're told we're not essential, and we're so essential. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, I think it's awful that anybody would call another human being not essential. But I think it's just how to stay sane. Open your mind, all right, and question everything. Double check different information, even if it's the information that you feel an aversion to. Still take a look at it and try to find out, you know, where the real truth is. And I don't know what your faith is, but
yeah, it's all messed up. It started Jewish and became Christian, and now it's like I'm a little of both.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, it's just put your faith in God. I keep my faith in God and everything, and just keep, you know, do your best. Just keep going, you know, take one day at a time. I really think that we're in for a bumpy ride. I don't think this is anywhere near as bad as it's going to get, but I think that we need to face up of what's going on and take some responsibility for it.
There you go.
Try to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you go. You've been so wonderful to come back on twice because the internet cut us off. And Tere Joyce, I'm going to post all of the places on social media you told me about. If you think of any more where you want more traction, let me know. And then in about 3 to 6 days, my tech person will splice these together and he'll make it look like a sitcom. And that's SITCOM, not CALM. A little play on words. Okay, fine. It goes over better. It goes over better at a nursing home. And so, you know, I'll send that to you if you will share that. And thank you so much for opening your heart and your life to us.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. It was fun.
You're a delight. Thank you so much. Love you lots.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.